Hello everyone. So it's been 8 days. That'll only be like around 4 or 3. Chat is connecting. So quiet. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to make this ASMR. Wonder why it's taking so long for the chat. It's currently nighttime right now. I should probably put the fan on, actually. Okay, so I can be a little bit better. Anyway, let's hope you can hear me. So, we're gonna be chatting a bit before we read this fanfic. Yes, I'm gonna read a fanfic on this. So, last time we were talking about and reacting who killed Markiplier. And the whole lore, you need to understand that part before you go to the date with Markiplier, the heist with Markiplier, and in space with Markiplier. Because there is so much going on, and if you did the oopsie doopsie thing that I did and didn't watch it beforehand when it first came out, I just assumed Dark was just like a bad guy, but he's not. He's a good guy that has very poor methods or good intentions. So he's basically the anti-hero, and he is both Celine and Damien. So yeah, I mean, I like to think he actually is Damien, because I don't know if, I feel like for me that would make a lot more sense. And no, I was talking about fanfics, right? And then you always make the district attorney Damien and Darkipler's love interest, whether reincarnated, an angel, or back to life. Well, that's what this story is gonna be about. It is called Dreaming of You, Darkiplier X Female Reader, and it's pretty long, but I am willing to read it for you guys and for myself. And I do hope you enjoy it. If you do, then I might make a part 2. So yeah, I just wanted to catch everyone up, and I fully support Damien / Darkiplier XYN. Because, I mean, come on, the district attorney and Damien has some love vibes going on. It's quite possible the district attorney was in love with Damien too. Anyway, we're gonna read this. And I pray you can hear me, because if you don't, then I'm going to have to redo this whole entire video tomorrow. Because I cannot, like, do it twice tonight, okay? I just can't. So, yeah. Let's begin. So, obviously, this takes place after the events of Who Killed Markiplier. I have no idea where the story is going, but it gives me the giggles of fangirl, if you know what I mean. I don't know why there's a story playlist. I guess to explain, like, the feelings of both characters. Yeah. Some of these songs kind of make sense. Ophelia is the best sad song for this fanfic, though. So, here's the prologue. I'm gonna read it. Raven-colored hair, sharpened white smile, Ank's eyes that twinkle with mischief and mystery. These were attributes that belonged to a man that had been haunting my dreams and nightmares for the past several months. I had no idea who he was, only that his presence was plaguing my thoughts more than I would have liked. His thoughtful gaze filled my head nearly every night, and his deep laugh was beginning to creep into my tiny life. Jesus, I'm sorry to go off topic, but Twitter's been two-way notifications for real. As I was saying. I couldn't get him out of my head, despite my best efforts. I found it exceptionally odd at first, considering that I'd never seen his face before in my life, not in passing, not on TV, not in a magazine. There was no logical reason for him to be interrupting my dreams. In these dreams, he would never say anything. He only stared at me with such intensity that I would inevitably always look away. As of late, however, he would laugh or sigh wistfully, or even growl, the latter of which made my stomach flutter in an embarrassing way. I had tried to talk to him, just to see if I can get a response, but I always found myself unable to speak. I would open my mouth to say something, anything, but no sound would come out. Aside from the man staring and laughing, he would sometimes hold his hand out as if to touch me every time to return the gesture. However, I was met with an invisible resistance that prevented me from making any sort of physical contact with him. How could you resist your boy Dark? I mean, come on. No less Mark is controlling you than maybe. I couldn't quite deny the looks he often gave me. They were more than friendly, more than curious. He knew who I was, and it was beginning to seem like I should know him too. I didn't though. As much as I tried to imagine where I'd seen him in real life, I just couldn't. He seemed so familiar, but so much like a stranger at the same time. He shouldn't have meant anything to me. He didn't mean anything to me. At least, I hope he didn't. The nightmares were different. I always start them by falling, either off a bridge or a building or a balcony. It would seem like I was falling forever, like I'd never stop. Then after some time would pass, I hit the ground harshly, so harshly I had to remind myself that I was only dreaming. That's when the man would show up. His midnight hair would be flopped over one eye, and his other one would be filled with a silent rage that I somehow knew wasn't directly to me. He'd stand over me, ever unable to touch me, and wear a I'm going to say this wrong, melancholy expression that always made my heart ache for a reason I couldn't quite place. He eventually stepped away, realizing that he couldn't help, and leave me to stagger to my feet by myself. And once upon the right, I always walk over. Alright, this one's a bit weird. I know I was studying it a bit, but now it's for real. It says, once upright, I always walk over time to him. I think they meant to put to him. Even I didn't notice I was doing it. I look over his shoulder and try to get a glimpse at his downcast eyes, but he always moved away before I could catch his gaze. I always wake up sometime after that. My face would be wet with tears, my breath ragged. I could never understand why. I was so upset upon waking, but the ache in my chest would carry me throughout the day, an unfailing reminder of the previous night's dreams. I was determined to figure out who this mysterious man was and why he plagued my sleeping and now waking hours. With his dark eyes and wavy hair in mind, I made my way to the only place I can think of, the place that caused my strange dreams to start 4 months ago, the place I had always been assumed and deemed unfit to live in since the 80s. The place that I always saw the mysterious man standing in front of. Markiplier Manor. That was the prologue. And I'm only 10 minutes in. Okay. I will be right back though. Just gotta check something before I continue. Okay, so we are back in 18 minutes. And now we're gonna go to chapter 1. Chapter 1, Unwanted Emotions. Dark walked the grounds alone. Wilford was probably getting loaded in wine cellar. Getting loaded in the wine cellar. Sounds about right. And Benjamin, her butler, was out running errands. I'll be honest, nobody knows what happens to Chef and Benjamin. So the fact that he's in this fanfic is a bit off. Because usually in the fanfics, they're all living together, the egos. And there's no butler or chef. And I don't know how he will drag Benjamin along with them. But I guess they all just remain there or something. Anyway, Dark sighed loudly as he took in the manor's aging landscape. The gardener had quit long ago, and the former mayor just couldn't bring himself to keep up with the sprawling expanse of unruly hedges and overgrown flower beds. Dude, you need to clean that up. Like, for real, I freaking hate mold on the freaking buildings with grass growing there. It's so gross. Like, come on, dude. You suppose it would be a good hobby to take up, seeing as how he couldn't do much else while trapped in the mansion. The motivation always seemed to invade him. Also, I don't know why in fanfics apparently they're trapped. Mark didn't really say that. I think Darkiplier can just travel to portals. So can Wilford in different timelines. Because it seems like they're not actually trapped there. Maybe they live there. Could be a possibility. He supposed it could be a good hobby to take up on, seeing as he couldn't do much else while trapped in the mansion, but motivation always seemed to invade him. So I guess he has a lack of motivation. Well, that and the fact that his long dead lover used to love gardening. Oh hell yeah. She did. Dark quickly pushed all those thoughts of his late partner out of his head. Okay, this will be a grammar a little bit messed up on here, but I'm going to try to pronounce it as best as I can. Lest he devolve into rage unfit for esteemed individual like himself. Okay, I think I understood that. The not-so-alive man considered what his previous self must have been like. Damien, his name was. Now it's just backwards. It shouldn't have been like Damien, that was his name, or his name was Damien. A young and prosperous, I would say spontaneous man, a wealthy mayor with a kind heart and good intentions, a popular political figure with business relations with the district attorney. Well, no, not just business relations. It hadn't taken Dark too long to figure out that Damien had feelings for the district attorney, and strong ones at that. Perhaps that's why he felt like she meant something to him as well. Dark had never quite met the girl, of course, but he'd seen her in his dreams. Her eyes wide. Actually, it does make sense, the way it says. Her wide eyes. Nah, it makes sense. Her eyes said it. Her eyes wide and confused expression, her innocent gaze, and relaxed demeanor. She was completely at ease, blissful, unaware of the monster she was sharing her dreams with. But then, one night, the girl had a nightmare. A nightmare eerily similar to a memory Dark remembered vividly. The gunshots, the fall, the black void that consumed them all that night. He struggled to get the girl's face out of his thoughts. Her pained expression as she laid unnaturally still on the cracked marble tile, her neck tilted in a fashion that was just slightly abnormal, the cold blood forming around her swollen form. Dark had stopped himself from thinking of her. He couldn't do anything to change what happened that night. He couldn't change the fact that she was dead, partially because of him. He became so obsessed with getting revenge on Mark that he failed to realize what would happen to the girl. At first, he assumed she'd be trapped in the mirror like the rest of them. My bad. At first, he assumed she'd be trapped in manner like the rest of them, but quickly learned that her soul, her spirit, was elsewhere. Not within him like Damien Celine, and not quite confined to the cracked mirror either. She was gone. Not exactly dead, but certainly not alive. She had virtually been erased from existence. She had virtually been erased for existence. Oh my god, Richard cannot talk. She had virtually been erased from existence. Or at least that's what Dark had assumed. Or at least that's what Dark had assumed had happened to her. Okay, I guess we can say that. When she started appearing in his dreams a while back, though, he was starting to doubt his theory. She was more than just a ghost of his past coming to haunt him. She was someone new, someone alive, and well, and probably just as confused as he was. He couldn't help but feel something for her. It was only natural for the entity to be attracted to the woman he loved almost a century ago. Dark shook his head, trying to rid himself of the unwanted emotions that seemed to be taking a hold of him lately. He didn't feel anything for the girl. It was only Damien's memories of her that made the demon long for her. She shouldn't mean anything to him. She didn't mean anything to him. And he wanted to make sure things stay that way. I don't know about that, but I think you're gonna fall in love with the girl. I'm just gonna let the water. 26 minutes in. Okay. So, we're gonna go to chapter 2, but this slide is part 1. Because there is 85 chapters. 85 chapters of this book on Quotive. It's where I'm reading it from. And there's an epilogue, which could mean there's going to be a sequel, or the writer wrote another Darkiplier X Reader fanfic. Who writes 85 chapters? Like, how many ideas do you have to have for that? I've never seen any writer, Quotive, Wattpad, Tumblr, have 85 chapters. This person has a lot on their hand then. Like, I don't know how old this person is, but apparently they get their job done first or last after they write this or before. But 85 chapters, y'all. 85. Jeez, This is worse than Mark making his Markiplier TV stuff. Because he's not even finished with it. Like, and you think it will be a lot, but no, it's not. Because he's still working on it. But this person already finished it. It's 85 chapters, yo. We are on chapter 2, which is called Oncoming Storms. And I hope I don't stutter while reading this. The cool autumn air rises the hair on my arms. It makes me regret not bringing a jacket with me. I only been to the manor once, and on that occasion there were other people with me. Now I'm going there alone, a decision that has worried me. Okay, I'm sorry, but every time I read this person's writing, it feels like it's backwards. I'm gonna try again. Now I'm going there alone, a decision that has me worried for an unknown reason. The place has been abandoned for decades, so why should I be worried? It's off limits to the public, so I won't have to deal with potential squatters. There's really no reason for the somersaults my stomach is doing. I'm perfectly safe going there alone, right? I approach the old rusted gate that serves as an entrance to the... This is a weird word. Dilapidated... Dilapidated... Wait. Dilapidated? What? Something like that. Property. There's a warning sign on it that says, "Stay out, premise unfit to enter." And another that says how it's been officially condemned by the state of California since 1982. Yeah, that's how long this place has been abandoned for. And I heard that it was originally built in the late 40s or early 50s, so it's nearly 70 years old. 70 years old. Now, since the iron gate is rusted shut, I have no choice but to climb over it to get inside the property. I struggle a bit to get a grip on top of the gate, but eventually manage to get to the top. The drop to the cracked, cemented driveway below isn't too high, so I carefully jump down, landing steadily on my feet. Well, that was surprisingly easy. I make my way down the crumbling driveway with wildflowers and weeds growing up in the cracks, made by decades of weather and nature. Dark clouds start to roll in above me, and I sigh internally. Summer storms are the worst, but fall ones seem to bring torrents. It says torrents of rain that last for hours. With them, I kind of wish I would have driven here now. I really don't want to walk all the way back to my apartment in the pouring rain. The front door of the manor looks surprisingly in good shape. Its wooden frame is no longer lacquered to crisp shine, but it's not quite as rough as the rest of the outside of the building. I briefly consider how odd it is that there aren't any warning signs on the actual mansion, only the gate up front. Maybe they were worn away with age. Maybe no one bothered to put them up in the first place. Yeah. Okay. I tried the front door, not too shocked to find it locked. Of course the city wouldn't want people to try and squat in the old manor. On my only other visit here, I remember being told that there was a back door that was attached to a wraparound deck. Maybe I could get in that way? I stepped off the front porch and examined the front of the building as I walk around to beside. Some of the windows are cracked or open or broken. Vines covered most of the brick walls that make up the place. Thorns, curtains, flutter in the late autumn breeze, and I think I see a light on somewhere in the mansion. But quickly dismissed the thought. This place has been occupied in years. Why would there be electricity still be left on? Why would the electricity still be left on? Okay. I thought it was like some invisible thing for humans not to see. I don't know that they're trapped in there. It's a writer's story. The side of the building looks much of the same. Busted windows and overgrown vines. I pick my way through fallen tree branches and supremely overgrown grass. Weeds and other prickly things poke at my worn Converse, and I make a mental note of wearing work boots the next time I come here. That is, if I do come here again. Hopefully, I won't have any reason to. Foreshadowing something. After coming upon the backyard of the manor, I realized just how grand the property is. Back in the day, it was probably beautiful. It looks like there used to be a personal golf course and maybe a gazebo. There's even an in-ground pool. If everything wasn't so overgrown and unkept, it probably wouldn't look half bad. How isn't this place salvageable? Okay. It wouldn't be too hard to fix up and sell. Okay, at this point, the reader is a reincarnation of literally the district attorney, and the district attorney lives the garden, according to this fanfic. So this means that she still holds personality and the hobby traits as the district attorney. It's kind of cute, to me at least. The back deck is, well, a lot more than just deck. It looks like it was made of cement with fancy pillars and old lampposts with busted bulbs inside. It looks just as grand as the rest of the place. I spot a sliding glass door that appears to open in one. I spot a sliding glass door that appears to open in on a kitchen area. I feel like that can be written different. It looks like it might be jammed or stuck, but maybe I can pry it open with something. Looking around for something to use to get the door open, I hear a crackle of thunder in the distance. A rainstorm is certainly on its way. I have to get inside before it starts pouring. When I was here last time, I heard there was a shed somewhere in the backyard that used to house garden tools. Perhaps I could find a crowbar or something in there. I move to the end of the balcony trying to get a better look at the rest of the landscape. I narrow my eyes and see a small shack nestled in between a giant oak tree and a rundown garage. Maybe that's the guardian shed? I take the balcony steps, 2 at a time, eager to get inside the mansion before the storm blows in. The shed is surrounded by thickets, my apologies, of weeds and overgrown bushes, but I think I see the faint outline of where a dirt pathway used to be. How long has it been since anyone's visited this property? The shed's door is already partially caved in from decades, so it isn't too difficult for me to push it open. The pitch blackness and musty smell catches me off guard at first, so I take a few extra seconds to reordinate myself. Once my eyes adjust to the dim light of the shack, I see a rack on the far wall with an array of rusted gardening tools hanging from it, amid dirt-covered shovels, broken rakes, and old straw brooms. I spot what I'm looking for. I gingerly take the crowbar from the rack, carefully not to touch the rusted and grimly tools around it. My feet carry me back out of the shed and down the old dirt path. More thunder cracks in the distance at this time. Excuse me. And this time, lightning follows it. I pick up my pace and start jogging back to the balcony steps. I'm not the fittest person alive, so I'm a little breathless by the time I make it up the cement steps. The back door proves to be rather stubborn as I force the crowbar between it and the door frame. It takes some effort, but I manage to crack it open enough to slip through. I slide down the other side of the door, the crowbar falling from my grasp. I guess I didn't realize how much energy that took out of me. Once I regained some of my strength, I stand up sluggishly and survey my surroundings more closely. I am indeed in a kitchen, but it looks awfully clean and tidied for no one being in the mansion for at least 35 years. Girl, it has not been 35 years. The cupboards and counters look worn with age, but not dusty. There isn't any food lying about, but the old china plates are stacked neatly in a glass cabinet. Curious, I tried the sink. Unsurprisingly, the water has been turned off. Next, I tried to switch for no light above. Once again, I'm not surprised to find electricity also turned off. Part of me is a little disappointed, although I'm not quite sure why. What exactly was I expecting to find here anyways? A mysterious man from my dreams? Clearly no one has lived here in a very long time. I glance back outside and see a large rain droplets come in from the still half-open door. I walk back over to it and push it back shut to keep the water out. I guess I'll have to stay here until the storm passes. Looking around the kitchen once more, I figured that I might as well explore the place while I'm here. It couldn't hurt, right? Maybe I'll find some kind of explanation for my dreams in this strange mansion. It's at least worth a shot. Anyways, who knows what I might find. Curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity killed the cat. Okay. Well, okay, so it's about to be 42 minutes in. So I think we'll do 3 and 4. And maybe we'll do 5 in this one or tomorrow. I do want to keep reading this. It actually does sound really good. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. And if you want to read it yourself, you can go to Quotas or you can search it up on Google and type in Dreaming of You, Darkiplier X Female Reader. And letting you guys know, it is purely fanfiction, not canon at all to Mark's story. It's not canon to Mark's story. It's a fanfic. Although I do wish Damien had actually loved the district attorney. Because a lot of people got headcanons for that. And I hope that actually is canon. I hope it's canon. Because that would mean Darkiplier likes the district attorney, aka YN. It's every YN's dream. That was a dumb pun, especially with the fanfic. Okay, so chapter 3, Glass Shards. It's kind of ironic, don't you think? It's kind of ironic. You put glass shards with the mirror realm. Her presence initially catches me off guard. Sorry. Okay, her presence initially catches me off guard, seeing her climb over the gate and walk down the crack-filled driveway up to the front door surprised me enough not to do anything to stop her. I stayed upstairs in my bedroom, too embarrassed to tell Wilfred about her. Now I've moved into the upstairs hallway, mainly hoping she'll decide to leave. Even from what I saw of her through my cracked window, I immediately understood what Damien must have seen in her. Oh my god. He has a hot for her. Oh no. Her lovely figure was hidden underneath loose-fitting sweatpants. And an oversized shirt. No. Oh, she went casual. She's like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I would have done the same too, but oh god, this poor girl. Her hair was pulled back away from her face, revealing a surprisingly beautiful girl. How old was she anyways? Early 20s perhaps? Possibly. I smiled despite myself. In my younger days, I would have thought it was strange for a girl like her to be unmarried. The time I grew up in was much different from what it is now, or at least that's what I've been told by Benjamin and Wilfred. Not that either of them get out very often. The girl pulls at emotions I've kept. The girl pulls at emotions I've long kept hidden, and I wish even more that she never found this place. While I was reading that, kinda cringy but kinda cute. Okay. So, I can't do Markiplier's dark voice. Okay, that's pretty obvious. I'm a girl, and obviously I got kind of like a positive, go-lucky voice, slash nerdy-ish, kinda. So, I'm just gonna try to do it in my normal voice. So I do it deep, like, it's not gonna sound the same. Because I can't do it. I doubt any other girl actress can do it either. That's why we need the mans, the true mans, aka Mark, to voice this. I'm too happy right now. I'm gonna go through my jokes. Okay. Anyway. Wilfred, I say, by way of introduction. I felt like that could have been said differently or changed. Entering my oldest friend's study. Just pause for a second. Just 1 second. It's probably not going to be the last time I'm doing this, but Mark has said that Dark doesn't have friends. He's a manipulator, and he's trying to get revenge on Mark. So it's a possibility Wilfred and Dark are not actually friends, they're just acquaintances. But it has been headcanon that they are friends, or theorized that they actually are best friends. And hopefully that is canon, but from what I've seen and heard, Darkiplier is not that much fond of Wilfred, but He kind of is because he's Damien. So, I guess they're still friends. I believe that we have a problem. He looks up from the stack of old papers. They look like old newspapers clippings. I frowned slightly, worried about what he might have been up to while I was in my room. What kind of problem? He questioned, strangely lucid. Again, I'm not doing the voice. I can't do it. Like the British voice, I always sound like a chick. His mood proves to be quite unpredictable, and sometimes I come to ask him a simple question, and he launches into a full-on fit for virtually no reason. I try to stay calm as possible. I try to stay as calm as possible when I'm around him, least he feel threatened or decide to do something. He likes to do something drastic. A girl is here. I respond vaguely, not quite meeting the man's slightly clouded gaze, and she shouldn't be. Wilfred's eyebrows meet together in confusion. He stands warily. So you want me to get her to leave? He asks, pulls out his old-fashioned shotgun out of his jacket. Get her to leave with your gun? This dude. I hide the weapon with something like fear or at least worry. No. Maybe you can just scare her off or something. Wilfred laughs heartily, the skin around his eyes prickling at the edges. Oh, I see. He points an accusing figure at me and smirks. It's that girl from the dreams, isn't it? Wait. I guess Dark tells Wilfred everything like they're home buddies or besties. Man, I wish I could edit this if this was live. Okay. These brief moments of incredible perception always astonish me. Okay, that's good. He doesn't actually tell him everything. It just so happens that Wilfred knows everything. Because he's basically the Mad Hatter. For someone so mentally unstable, Wilfred tends to understand unspoken things fairly well. Something I respect and kind of hate about him. Yes, it's kind of weird, isn't it? Yes, it is. I admit reluctantly, but that isn't the point. She shouldn't be here. She needs to leave. Now. Wilfred gives me a look. Why do you always have to act like this? I furrow my eyebrows at him. Like what? Like someone who doesn't want to admit their feelings. Just told him he's a tsundere. He's a tsundere. Darkipier's a tsundere. Hey, Kennen. We're Kennen. Oh my gosh. I don't have feelings for her. I say a bit more loudly than I intended to. Really? Because this really seems like... Wilfred stops mid-sentence, walking over to the doorway. Did you hear that? Hear what? I asked, following him to the hallway. He stretches me and walks into the staircase that leads back downstairs. I think your girl might have found a way in. He whispers, peering Wilfred a wailing. I think your girl might have found a way in. It's so cute when he literally tells him your girl. Like if it's oh god. Her inner fangirl is showing. Probably shouldn't be either. Okay. Let's continue. I resist the urge to once again explain how she's not my anything and how I barely even know her. Wilfred probably wouldn't listen to me anyways. But you don't even worry about it. I'm pretty sure you're gonna fall in love with her even if you don't know her. Okay then, you need to get her to leave. It's raining outside, Wilfred says, as if it's supposed to mean something to me. Okay, so? I raise an eyebrow at him. It's thundering. He goes on giving me a pointed look. I'm not understand. I'm not sure I understand your picture of distant memory. It's a fate. A distant memory surfacing from decades ago. Oh, yes. Oh, he says, seriously. He paces back and forth in the hallway. This isn't good, he mutters to himself. It's happening again, isn't it? Fearing he's about to go into some kind of raging fit, I quickly decide to lead him back to his study and deal with the girl myself. Once he gets off going, down with the gram, damn it. Once he gets going off on some tangent like this, there's no getting him back. Maybe you should rest, I say to him, grabbing his arms. I'll take care of the girl. He gives me a distant look, as if he's already stuck in some other world, and I escort him back to his room. Just stay in here until I say so, okay? Wolfgang nods shockingly. Knowing back into his office, I shut the door behind him and breathe out a sigh of relief. At least he didn't shoot anything this time. I take two quiet steps back to the top of the staircase, trying to get a glimpse of where the girl may have gone. This place is huge. She may not even be in this wing of the mansion. Judging by the discarded crowbar in the kitchen, I wager that she's gone in through the back door there. I knew I should have got that thing fixed. Okay, let's think about this. How am I gonna get rid of her without revealing that people actually live here? What can I do to scare her off and make sure that she doesn't come back again? Okay, 54 minutes in. Oh my god. Actually, I think I might need more water. Alright. I snap out of my thoughts by a loud crash downstairs. I cringe internally and make my way down the marble staircase. What does she knock over? Fuck. I hear... Fuck. I hear a feminine voice say from somewhere past the living room, this looks really expensive. Oh no. Oh no. Oh great. She broke something that was probably an antique. Well, technically everything in the matter is an antique, but Wilford would not be happy if it's one of his showcases from his days of hunting in the Amazon. Oh, I hope not. I creep down the corridor, past the living room and the dining area. There's some movement around the corner where the hallway turns, and I hear another strain of curses followed by another crash. Taking in a deep breath, I prepare myself for whatever mess the girl may have caused. I really didn't want to have to reveal myself to her, but maybe I could conceive her that I'm a ghost or something and scare her away. God, I hope she's not oblivious. This is me saying it, not sorry. As I round the corner into the adjoining hallway, I've met with a disconcerting sight. The girl has somehow managed to knock over an old china cabinet filled with gold-rimmed plates and the other ornate dishes. The concerning part, though, is that the shattered glass from the case appears to have launched itself in her uncovered arms. Wow. The cuts don't look too deep, but she probably is getting blood over the marble tile. That's what you're worried about? I sigh loudly. Benjamin just cleaned this floor yesterday. This dude is worried about the tiles. Worried that she's gonna get blood all over it. Bro, she probably didn't need to. You say it's not that deep. Come on. It's literally glass. foreshadowing the mirror realm. Just saying. Somehow the girl still hasn't noticed my presence, and so I use this to my advantage. While she carefully takes out the pieces of glass from her left arm, I decide to try to scare her. She's trying to... she's trying to make sure she's not... Dude, come on, I'm gonna really say it. I'm trying to get these things out of me so I don't have an infection. Being stuck in this godforsaken place does have its perks, you know. Yeah, bet it does. I still don't quite understand how I've acquired these strange abilities over the years. I don't know either. Only that the house itself seems to have some kind of dark magic in it. Whatever the reason, though I've been left with the ability of telekinesis, it's kind of unpredictable most of the time, so I don't use it often. But I think this will be a good chance to try and sharpen my skills. Okay. While the girl struggles to remove glass shards from her right arm, I raise some of the discarded shards from the tile and make it seem as if they were levitating on their own. God. You know, when I read it, it makes it sound like this dude's trying to be freaking Professor X. What the hell? The girl says incredulously, taking a step back and momentarily forgetting the glass in her arm. Momentarily? Girl, get the glass out of your arm. Are you kidding me? I stifle a laugh and raise the glass pieces up even higher. She finds this funny, but this girl is probably strong. Since she's at least halfway down the hallway with me, she hasn't looked in my direction yet. If I'm careful, I might be able to leave undetected. The girl looks shocked, but not scared. She seems more memorized by the floating glass than anything else. She continues to back away from the shards, but looks intrigued. Okay, maybe it won't be easy to get rid of her. Weighing my limited options, I decide to send the broken glass straight at her. Come on, man. You don't gotta be that way. Just pull her pigtails, man. Come on. I swear, this doesn't even sound like Darkiplier at all. But I'll continue reading it. Weighing my limited options, I decide to send the broken glass straight at her. At least that will force her to run away. Her eyes widen a fraction as shards start flying at her. She wastes no time in springing away from them. I feel like she should have dodged it. And I laughed, amused. There's something kind of endearing about the girl when she's locked herself in one of the guest bedrooms and let the shards drop to the floor. Hopefully that will be enough to send her on her way. After waiting a few minutes for her to come back out, I consider that she's probably in pain from the cuts on her arm and feel a bit guilty. Perhaps I should find some bandaging for her. You barely thought of that. Are you kidding me? This does not sound like Darkiplier. Okay, let's think about this for a moment. Listen, Darkiplier is manipulative. He only wants revenge. But if he's in contact with someone he knew or once loved, that could be different. He could be pretending, he could be amused, but he cannot act this way and just barely realize that she's in pain, so he probably shouldn't do that. Like, I'm pretty sure he would know this beforehand, but probably wouldn't give him the bandage until later. You know, Dark's pretty edgy. But this doesn't really sound like Darkiplier. I'm not saying it's out of character, but it kind of feels like it. At the same time, it kind of doesn't. Like, this man, I'm serious, dude. I read so many fanfictions when I was in middle school. This film does not take the cake. It does not. It's just a bit off. You see so myself. And they were gonna read one more chapter. And then we'll see if I'll do this tomorrow. Okay. In one of the many unused washrooms, I find an old medical supply kit, Emin old-fashioned band-aids, and long-expired medicine. I find some medical wrap that should be sufficient enough for cello cuts. I grabbed it and walked back to where the girl must be hiding in the bedroom. After a few seconds of consideration, we let the bandage roll down in front of the door. After waiting another minute or so, I quickly rush over to the small hall closet and find a coat for the girl. It is raining outside after all. Really, I'm just being nice. No, you're not. I think you'll like it, bro. But it's not so easy. This is why I find a little bit of her character. Because Dark's not actually a nice person. So he wouldn't just go out his way for anybody. You have to be someone who's very close to, at least Eudemia's memories, where he slowly starts to bond over someone, like YN, the district attorney. So he's not just being nice, right? He does want to help her, and I'm pretty sure if Darkiplier was in love with YN, he would want to help her, them, he, whatever, to get out of Markiplier's game. We have yet to see that, if he cares about them as a friend, acquaintance, or as a lover. I hope it's friend and lover, to be honest, because I do know Darkiplier he hates Mark, but he doesn't like YN, because apparently, I found out, apparently the district attorney, YN are the same person, but I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think YN is a reincarnation of the district attorney. That's my theory. Not that I should be, because I shouldn't care about the girl's well-being at all. Yeah, you shouldn't, but you do, because you loved her in the past. And yeah, you're supposed to be cool and edgy. You're cold and edgy, but you really care about the girl. You just need to admit it to yourself, bro. But on the other hand, I'm really just being a gentleman here, and it's really just a habit more than anything else. Yeah, all habits die hard and all that. I don't know about that. I hear movement from inside the guest bedroom and decide that it's probably time for me to leave. I don't mind the girl thinking that the mansion is haunted, but I don't particularly like the idea of her thinking that I'm the one haunting it. By the time I walk down the corridor around the corner, I hear a door creak open. There's a little gasp of surprise. I assume that a girl has found bandages in the coat. It's hard for me to stifle a grin as I make my way upstairs. Maybe having company isn't as bad as I thought it would be. It's not. You don't need to be lonely, my guy. You just need someone to talk to, other than Wilford and Benjamin. You need some of that romance connection. Okay. I'm gonna take a little break, drink some water. I will be back soon. Okay. This is probably gonna be the last time I'm doing the Be Right Back screen game in this selection. So it's like already midnight, and I gotta charge my laptop. So we're gonna read one more, and then we're ending the stream. And then there'll be a part 2. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Please let me know if you want me to continue reading it. And just by leaving a like or a comment, anything like that. As for me, I still want to read it, so I just hope my audience, or at least you guys, are watching it and liking the story so far as much as I do, because I'm kind of fangirling here. But I'm gonna take the computer somewhere else because I'm going to charge it. It is an hour and 14 minutes. I don't know why it still says connecting the chat. The internet should be working fine. Okay. Just hang down here for a while. So you guys can see my face. Okay. Alright. So the last chapter we're reading today in the stream is called Chapter 4, Complications. So, yeah, I don't know if they'll ever meet Dark in this chapter. Probably in the next one or in Chapter 6. But as of now, he is a ghost or invisible. So, let's just continue reading. I waste no time in racing into the nearest room, unlocking the door behind me. I'm once again left restless from running and take a minute or so to catch my breath. Once I feel slightly less lightheaded, I begin to process whatever the hell just happened. I was just chased by a levitating broken glass. That definitely is not normal. Maybe the rumors about this place being haunted are true. My arms are still stinging a bit from the glass cutting into them, but thankfully they look fairly shallow. In my haste to get away from the flying shards, I neglected to finish removing all the pieces from my right arm. I honestly don't even know how the stupid case fell in the first place. I was literally just walking by it when it started chittering by itself. This place is fucking weird. I hope Twitch bleeps that out. I'm just reading the story. Okay. Feeling a shiver run down my spine, I quickly removed the remaining silver of glass from my arm. There's no way I'm staying here after that. I don't even care if it's raining outside. I'm gladly to walk all the way back home if it means I won't have to worry about getting run down by an inanimate and animated objects again. I pressed my ear against the door to try to hear any movement on the other side, but after a minute or two of silence, I figured it's safe to go back into the hallway. I carefully pull out the open door, eye in the corridor with caution. The plastic glass case is still laying in the pieces on the ground, and the glass shards that try to attack me are also laying perfectly still on the floor. I breathed out a sigh of relief and stepped out of the room. Upon doing so, however, I almost stepped on something confused. I looked down to see what looks like an old-fashioned medical tape at my feet. How did this get here? Next to it near the wall, there's also what appears to be a folded up coat. These definitely weren't here before. These definitely weren't here before. Were they? Curious, I pick up the old bandages as if on cue. The cuts in my arms start to sing. I'm not quite sure if I should be thankful or wary, but either way, I should probably use the tape. I carefully wrapped it around the shallow cuts, wincing a bit. As I do so, once the cuts are somewhat covered, I covered the I the folded up coat. I don't know how else you would say that. Once the cuts are somewhat covered, I folded up the coat. Let's just say I folded up the coat. That is a weird thing to say. It looks old, like the rest of the place. Discarding the leftover bandages, I grabbed the heavy piece of clothing and examined it more closely. It smells a bit musty, like it's been in a damp closet for quite some time. It seems to be made of wool or some other thick material. Well, this won't do any good in the rain. It's a nice ornament coat, though. I decided to take it with me. It's not like there's anyone here to use it, right? Quickly making my way back down the hallway, I stumble upon what looks like a giant library. How did I not see this when I first got here? I have a feeling the coat belongs to Abe, the detective that got bodied. Despite the urge, I have to explore it. I'm still a bit creeped out by the glass incident, so I decided to leave it be for now. Maybe spread that veil. Okay. I'll leave it be for now. Maybe I'll come back some other time with a friend, yeah. I'm certainly not coming back here alone again. I pass the library and continue on to the kitchen. My discarded crowbar is still laying on the ground. And somehow that makes me feel a bit better. I grab a chest in case and push open sliding glass door. The storm seems to be raging even harder than before, and I curse myself for not bringing an umbrella with me. Maybe I should just stay here until it passes. The kitchen looks relatively harmless, and I do have a weapon with me just in case anything happens. Rain, rain, rain. Oh shit. I forgot that I brought my phone here with me. Who would be calling me right now? Though it's a Saturday and early in the morning at that. I sigh loudly and answer the call without bothering who it is. Hello? I say, a little annoyed at the interruption. We're gonna call... I'm not doing... Every time I read a fanfic, I don't do it as myself. I make up a character or I make up a different name. So we're gonna call ourselves Roofed. Roofed? A stern voice responds to the other end of the line. Where are you? It's my boss. Usually I work from home, but sometimes I have to go in the office to call certain people to sign stuff. Why would he be calling on a weekend? I'm busy, I answered vaguely, looking around the dusty old kitchen. Is there dusty old kitchen? Is there a problem, sir? Yes, there certainly is a problem. He shouts into the phone, causing me to cringe a bit. You were supposed to be here an hour ago for the meeting. What meeting? I usually don't have to go on meetings on the weekend unless, you mean the meeting about the new case you just got? I actually was laying out pacing around the small room. I thought that wasn't until noon. It's past noon, Roof. My boss exclaimed, exasperately, exasperatedly. I don't know how you say that. Jeez. What's up with these new words? It's nearly 1 o'clock. What? How? I got here around 8. There's no way it's been 4 hours. Are you sure? I asked, throwing eyebrows despite not being able to see my boss's face. Yeah. He responds, sounding irritated. Just check the time on your phone if you don't believe me. I do. It's 12:56? What the? That time's different in the manor, man. I'm so sorry. I say, still trying to wrap my head around how much time has passed since I got here. I'll get in the office as soon as I can. I hear my boss call on the other end of the line. Don't bother, he says harshly. You missed the meetings anyway. But we'll discuss this on Monday. He's just cutting me off. Good day, Miss Kobayashi. Yeah, I changed my username to Miss Kobayashi because of the anime, but this character is Ruth Kobayashi. Different thing going on. But, we'll just say it like that. Besides, I really like the last name, Kobayashi. It's really cute. Before I can say anything else, he hangs up on me. I put my phone away dejectedly and look outside at the raging storm. It's beginning to reflect my mood. A part of me is dreading Monday now. My boss and I barely get along as it is. This incident will only make things worse. I honestly wish I could just quit my stupid job and do something else instead. That would never work, of course, since I can barely make ends meet as it is, but a girl can dream, right? I guess I could ask my roommate Amy to come and pick me up. She's used to my weird fascination of abandoned places, and probably wouldn't mind getting me. Plus, I wouldn't have to walk back home in the rain. There's another part of me, though, that doesn't really want anyone else to know about this place. It feels like a secret. Somehow, like it won't seem so strange and magical if I tell someone about it. Tell someone else about it. Which is saying a lot since I was basically attacked by animated objects just a few minutes ago. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe my own weirdness was what brought me here in the first place. It's not as though other people don't know about the matter, but I just don't want the wrong people to be hearing about it. It's amazing that it hasn't suffered any vandalism or graffiti after being abandoned for so long. It would be a shame to see someone ruin the strange beauty of it. Deciding it's best if I leave things well enough alone, I stepped outside the back door and into the pouring rain. I pushed the door shut behind me and make sure it's locked this time. Maybe I won't be coming back, but hopefully this will prevent anyone from trying to break in. The crowbar seems a bit unnecessary now, so I drop it in the back deck. The old wool coat is a bit heavy in my arms, so I shrug it on despite the rain. It might be a bit more difficult to hop back over the fence with it on, but I'll have to make do. I creep back around the side of the house and onto the cracked driveway once more. I'm halfway down it when I realize that something is very, very wrong. The gate is now pulled open. There's a man standing just inside of it, holding an old-fashioned grocery bag in his arm. He seems oblivious to the storm, and I think I hear him whistling. The edge closer, trying to stay hidden by the overgrown trees and shrubs. As I approach him, I notice that he appears to be wearing an old butler uniform. What the? Good afternoon, Miss Kobayashi. It's been quite some time since I've seen you around here. How are things? I'm caught off guard by the man's words. For so many reasons, I stumbled out and behind some bushes and stared at him high. Are you alright? He asked, giving me a concerned look. Should I assist you to the door? I wrenched, not knowing what to say or do. I have been hallucinating or dreaming. This cannot be happening to me. There's no way of this is actually happening. You look pale, the man continues, putting a gloved hand on my arm. Perhaps you should sit down for a few minutes? I try to respond, but I suddenly feel lightheaded. Is the ground supposed to be tilting slightly? Be careful. Trying to keep me upright. You should definitely come inside. I think I tried to say something, but the road seems to tilt sideways and black spots fill my vision. Am I having a panic attack or something? What's happening to me? I'm sure Dark will be very happy to see you moved. He talks about you practically non-stop. It's actually quite annoying, the man chuckled softly. It has been quite some time. What's brought you back after all this time? I mumble incoherently in response. My vision is dimming significantly. Am I going into shock or something, Benjamin? I thought you said you wouldn't be back until... Oh dear. I thought Dark said she left already. She needs to sit down, I'm afraid. I think she may faint if she doesn't. Benjamin, I now realize, says in response to the unfamiliar voice. I distantly wonder who Dark is. But I'm far too gone to voice my question aloud. Whoever he is, I'm sure I'll meet him. That is, when I wake up. Okay. I don't think I can call her rude. Maybe, I don't know. I just get a feeling that YN slash the district attorney could be reincarnated, have the same name. But I don't think they could have the same last name as in this fanfic, because that wouldn't really make any sense. And the fact that the roommate's named Amy, like, why is there two Amy's now? Well, actually, there was never an Amy on Markiplier TV, but, you know, Mark's girlfriend, Amy. I want to read the next one. I really do. But,
Okay, I'm gonna have to read it tomorrow on a live stream. I really wanna read this on the entire Twitch account that I have, but that's gonna be it for now. I don't know why I did get disconnected to the chat for a long time, but apparently there's one viewer. Hopefully there's more. Please, if there's a comic section, or if you like it and you want more for me to read this, please let me know. I'd be willing and gladly to read it because I'm loving the story so far. And it's so hard to find good fanfics lately, like really good ones, especially with the romance, horror, psychological horror in it. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day or good night or good afternoon, whatever time zone it is. I will see you guys in the next stream.